and figuring out how to wordsmith it so that it's real succinct, but it shows what you do. That stuff's really important. So, what other questions do you guys have about resumes? Because I want to make sure that you're. That's coming up. Is it next Tuesday that it's due? I think.
I have a question on yours. On each church, you put the approximate attendance and roughly what the attendance increase or what the attendance change was while you were there. I don't know if that is a question that you have anything to say about. It seems like that's sometimes a touchy question because on these entries, sometimes churches don't put their size, or sometimes, and so sometimes there's this idea that church size isn't important and we shouldn't talk about it.
I was wanting to show that I've got a history of building ministries. With this resume, I was trying to shop for a church 1,000 and over. And most large churches won't consider you unless you have experience in that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's why I put that.
Well, usually, I mean, I don't feel bad saying this because I was at a very small church. We were like 100. But usually the churches that say that they don't care about attendance size.
That might be, yeah. Yeah. And the administrative burden in a larger church is quite profound. And I think if a larger church is shopping for a worship pastor, they'd like to find, if they find someone that's handled that, then they feel more interested. Plus, the other thing is see, that is pretty much my sole selling point, that and my pastoral approach to ministry. Because where many of you guys are very strong, I'm very weak, and that is, I am not adept at being the sole person leading a worship service. You know, standing up with a guitar and keyboard and leading it. I always have done it with teams. And I've never had to lead a service by myself, you know. And a lot of churches are wanting to just hire someone that's a song leader that can do that. And I knew I couldn't sell myself at that. And so this was my area of accomplishment, expertise.
So let me ask you this, and this has lots to do with our education and stuff. Do you find that the bigger churches that you're talking about that want to see the numbers and stuff, do you think they would have hired you if you didn't have a master's degree? Because I find that a lot of the bigger churches, their worship leaders have master's degrees.
I don't think so. The fact that I had a master's degree didn't hurt me, and it showed that I was a lifelong learner. In fact, I have, in a particular church, I made a resume that had a whole page of activities describing things that I'd done, and it was a 3-page resume, which is a little unusual, but I knew that they were interested in that. I've not seen very many job descriptions that say they want a master's level. The one I'm at First Methodist did. Yeah.
Well, my grandparents' church in Cincinnati, they won't look at worship leader unless they have a master's.
Yeah.
Won't even look.
See, that's
what the master's degree is in, or just as long as you have
Mainly it's in choral conducting or something like that.
Yeah. And that may be changing. You know.
It could be.
Yeah. What are you saying, Zach?
well, it's funny that every church is different.
Sure.
But I could highly see a church either hiring a guy that's never taken a single music class but can lead a congregation or lead a group of people or a small group of people for that matter in worship, rather than somebody who has their doctorate in worship music but is awkward on stage and can't read people's text.
Right.
Well, that's why when you turn stuff in like this, do some video or something that you play.
A video is essential. You cannot get your foot in the door without a video now, which makes the senior project and the worship degree very helpful. that's your video right there. And that's one of the that's a helpful thing about that